Hello and welcome. My name's Super Saiyan and this is your Saturday weekly pre-order video where I take a look at all the pre-orders from Forge World and Games Workshop. My oh my. Firstly, there is breaking news and I want to break it to you straight away, and that is of the Death Guard Myphitic Blight-Hauler. This little creature right here, it's my favourite looking model in the Death Guard range. Mortarion is a close second, of course, but absolutely love this model. The rules are very decent too for him. He doesn't get worse as he gets damaged, and he comes with a multi-melter and a missile launcher and a couple of other things, so it's pretty good. But there have been a lot of rumours on the internet about what's happened to him, where has he gone to, whether they've had issues with the mould or anything like that. Who knows? But either way, he has surfaced, and he surfaced in an easy to build kit. There's an image on the internet which shows him in that. On the kit it says Death Guard Myphitic Blight-Hauler. To me that really does seem as if there's only one in the kit, but I could be terribly wrong. There could be three. There is a benefit of having three in a unit, but there you go. Along with Lord Astraeus and the Tainted Cohort. Again, I think that Lord Astraeus is a deathshroud Terminator. He looks like he's got a Man Reaper there, and the other two guys, I don't know whether they're just going to be Terminators. That would be really cool if they are, because then you could just bump up your deathshroud to 4 from the set and bump up your Terminators to 7. I think that would be really cool. Also, on the Primaris front, they're bringing out an easy to build Primaris Redemptor dreadnought at some point, and Primaris aggressors. The aggressors look like they're equipped with the flamers, which is brilliant. I'm so chuffed that I didn't buy, you know, a second set of aggressors now. But we'll see. It also is coming soon. We don't know about the dates or anything like that. But I just thought I would bring, you know, that news to you straight away. So without further ado, let's hop on over to Forge World, and my oh my, wow, they have really spoilt us, because if you go to new, you will see that the Astraeus, which is the Primaris super heavy tank, their first one, they may get more, who knows, and if they do, I really do hope that they just change that top weapon for something else, and then just, you know, bring out the top weapon completely separately. But they've got the Astraeus super heavy tank up for pre-order, reasonably priced. Now when I say reasonably, I'm sure there are people that would really love this tank to be £50 or £60, but unfortunately Forge World have been around for at least 16 years now, and back in the day when I got my first ever Warhound Titan, that was £250. So things have gone up in price, but also the models have improved in terms of the range, the detail and all the rest of it. So it is what it is. I was actually expecting this model to be more than this. You know, it looks similar in sort of length than a Mastodon. Of course, I'll be doing a size comparison. So I was expecting close to that mark, you know, 280, £300, something like that. But the Mastodon is probably a little bit taller, and it does have the bigger kind of side panel armour plates, and it does have the tracks, which are all sort of moulded into the one piece of side armour, and it does have a fully detailed interior, along with, you actually get a few Space Marines in it as well, and the front door, which is on sort of like a mechanism, so I can see why that is still more expensive than this, and they fulfill different roles, but they both have void shields. That's probably the closest comparison I can make. But yeah, I was expecting that kind of price point, so it's a welcome surprise that it's £220, which means I think it's £40 more than a Fellblade, but this is a full resin kit. It's not a mishmash of a plastic kit and a resin one like the Fellblade is. Fellblade uses Baneblade kit, whereas this is going to be all full resin. So that's a pleasant surprise for me, at least, that it's not sort of £300 or so. Let's have a little look at it, shall we? So pre-order now, and it will ship from the 24th, which is actually Friday next week. It's already been confirmed. If you check out my Instagram, I put up a load of pictures of some of the models that are going to be available, at next weekend's Saturday and Sunday Warhammer 40,000 Open Day at Nottingham in the UK at Games Workshop HQ. It's going to be available there on the Saturday. I would expect this tank obviously to ship next week on Friday, and people to probably get their hands on it either the Saturday or the Monday or Tuesday of the following week, but who knows. Regardless, there will be some of these, and there'll be some Red Scorpion things like the Red Scorpion Leviathan dreadnought that has the twin assault cannons, which is horrific, and there's a really nice Red Scorpion sort of diorama with 2 Space Marines on it. You know, it's 2 standard size Space Marines. It looks like, they don't look like Primaris ones. So let's have a look at this tank in closer detail. So they've got a load of pictures here of it. You've got the heavy bolters, you've got the Las Rippers, I think they're called, you've got the Void Shields, you've got a top-down view. One is assuming that it needs these side extensions for grav plates, but you can't sort of unsee the fact that it looks like a troop bay kind of area where you'd fit troops in, or you know, even in the back or something like that. You can't sort of unsee that. My best guess is obviously it's got the keyword fly, and it's a big heavy tank. It also needs this big sort of surface area or space for the recoil for this this macro accelerator cannon. So there's some pictures there with a twin linked las cannon. So you could equip it with las rippers, and twin linked las cannons. You can go sort of all anti-tank. You've got a 360 view here. Let's just open this up. So there we go. So that gives you a sort of a bit of a better sort of view of this. And the back, you've got 6 nice looking engines and a exhaust cooling grill. And you've got an iron hail stubber, I think it is. Whoa, okay. And yeah, so you've got some more pictures there, and in its Ultramarines colour too. I really like the Red Scorpion colour scheme though, I really do. I think what stands out on this colour scheme though is yeah, the yellow and the grey and things, but they've really worked hard on all of the battle damage. You've got some lighting and dust and all kinds of shading and things, and the chips and paint and you name it. They've worked really hard on all the damage on this one, because if you look at the Ultramarines one, it just doesn't have the same sort of effect having it in one sort of colour. Just looking at it, that sort of affected what I'm going to do with mine. I might go for sort of 2 colours on mine. I might even try a bit of yellow, but who knows. So that is the Astraeus. The rules are also on there for free right here, look. So Astraeus super heavy tank, it's power of 36. I think the Fellblade is 37, I think, but toughness of a Fellblade is 1 more at 9, and the wounds of a Fellblade it's got 26 wounds instead of 24, and obviously it's got the massive Fellblade cannons, which I've looked at both of the sets of rules, and pretty much the Fellblade is probably better at other super heavies and hard hitting, but this does have a higher sort of damage output in terms of infantry and things like that with its, and it's also excellent against flyers too. And although it doesn't have the toughness 9, it does have the void shields, which definitely help against the mortal wounds. So there you go. They're the rules. So have a little look at those. Of course, I'll be doing a size comparison between the super heavy tanks I have and the Mastodon, and you know, all kinds of other things. And I'll be going through its rules and all the rest of it. So looking forward to that. This is going to be a long video, by the way. And the other thing that's up for Forge World's pre-orders yesterday is, well, the detachment. So if you want to blow £660 on 3 of them and not save any money, I mean, it'd be nice if they sold 3 of them for £600. Then I'd be incredibly tempted. No, I wouldn't. The other thing that's the other model that's on pre-order yesterday was a Necromunda bounty hunter. I put a couple of pictures on Instagram, and people were like, "What the hell? What's happening here? Why is there like a Warhammer model in 40k?" Well, there's a good little backstory to him. He's basically a mutant, and I like to see these kind of things. I said that in my I think last week's video. I said that I'd like to see sort of more kind of mutant strains, different alien xenos, things like that in Necromunda gangs, because they are an amalgamation of lots of different factors of a of the community of a big hive, and we can only imagine how big hives are. I mean, these things are miles high. These big hives. It's just incredibly difficult to comprehend just how big these sort of hive cities are. But anyway, he is a mutant from Homo sapien varietas, and he's got this chainsword, and he's got this plasma pistol. He's also got a shotgun. Does look great. You've got a little 360 view here, but he's £18, which is not too bad. I would have preferred him at sort of £15. I think that would have been a nicer sort of price than 18. But he is resin, and he's got an awful lot of detail, and he's got a bit of a scenic base as well going on with that pipe and skull and stuff. I can see that he's going to be a popular one to paint for competitions and stuff. His shotgun's on the back, look, with a little dagger, and then he's got another pistol thing here, and then he's got another little dagger, and then if you sort of zoom in, we got him sort of smoking a cigar, and then we've got a digital laser, and obviously half-horn, you know, so he's got one horn and half of a horn, so that sort of makes sense. But he's your little bounty hunter for Necromunda. Again, he's up for pre-order for the 24th. Next week he'll be released, which just so happens to be conveniently when Necromunda come out. But I'm really looking forward to more of this, more bounty hunters and more sort of individual characters, and I'm also looking forward to obviously more gangs and arbites and things like that. Maybe even like walkers, sentinel walkers, or little support kind of units. That would be excellent, because I'm all up for seeing sort of civilians or gangs or you know, human-sized sort of models and units in the 41st millennium, rather than your main ones like your Space Marines and your Imperial Guard and things like that. I'm always up for more of this, and hopefully it will pave the way for sisters at some point. The rules are also on the website. There we go. Gor Half-horn. He's got this big stat line that might not make much sense unless you've started playing Necromunda, because they do the credit system, so there's 235 credits. And he's got the chainsword look, and the plasma pistol low or max, and a shotgun solid or scatter. And he's got a couple of nice skills like Berserker, Bull Charge and Fearsome, and he's got his flak armour. Anyway, so they're his rules too. So they were the two big pre-orders up for Forge World yesterday. Looking good so far. I don't know what big releases left they've got to make. I mean, I suppose they could release the Red Scorpion stuff before Christmas, but there you go. That's Forge World. So what we'll do is we'll just hop on over now to Games Workshop. So if we hop on over to Games Workshop's web store, just click new and exclusive. I don't actually think that they've got anything on for pre-order. Obviously some of their pre-orders have fallen away from the 60 odd that they had up last week. If we do view all and we do high to low, all they've really got is the pre-orders from last week. I don't think there's anything else. Please do correct me if I'm wrong though. So we've got all the Necromunda pre-orders. Just to recap, they're going to be released next week on Friday, not the Saturday but the Friday. No doubt they'll have the boxes on the 40k open day next weekend, hopefully with some new models and things from Forge World. I'll be covering the whole event. I'll be there on the Saturday. So you've just got what was here last week. So you've got all of the Necromunda stuff, the paints. You've got a print on demand collection. So they're reprinting a load of the Necromunda kind of books, which is great. And I do wish they would do more of this. Sort of have a bundle of, Space Wolf books or whatever. I think that's it. That's a good direction. You've got the House Escher collection, the Goliath collection, the gangs themselves. You got the thermic plasma conduits. If you don't know how to sort of paint plasma on these, Warhammer TV does an excellent painting video, which is good. The Necromunda barricades and objectives are available separately. You've got the Gang War, which unfortunately it's not in the box set, but that was up for pre-order. I think this Death Watch Omnibus is new, and the other books sort of separately too. I can't remember if Devastation of Baal was there before, and then you got the dice and more novels, and then the bases which were on pre-order. So nothing new really, other than a couple of the books on Games Workshop's website. So this week seems to be all about Forge World, and obviously next weekend we'll have the Necromunda release. Would like to see the little Blight-Hauler up for pre-order next weekend, although it's a big heavy release at the moment for Games Workshop, so maybe they'll push that back a week after. But I'm really hoping those easy to build sets come out just before Christmas, because they'd be great little stocking fillers. Anyway, that's pretty much it for my weekly video today. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.